like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so we're diving deep into Arsenal's title hopes today. I gotta say, things are looking a little shaky after their recent match.
What?
You sent over this live match report from The Standard.
Yes.
It covers their home game against Everton, and it was a nail-biter.
It really could be a defining moment for them in the season. I
Yeah.
think it's more than 3 points dropped.
Yeah.
It's the momentum shift.
Yeah, okay, so final score, 0-0.
Yep.
On paper, a draw at home against Everton might not seem like a total disaster.
Right, but with their rivals slipping up as well.
Oh, cool.
This was a chance to make a statement.
Yeah, they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and if you dig into the match report even more,
Yeah.
you see this moment that really, I think, sums it all up.
Oh, yeah.
Odegaard
Yeah, the captain.
has this golden chance
Yeah.
in the first half.
Yeah.
Beautiful setup from Saka and Havertz.
Pickford.
Everton's keeper makes a phenomenal save.
Yeah.
What do you...
I mean, what do you make of that?
I mean, I'm no expert.
Sure.
But from the way the Standard described it,
Yeah.
Pickford just made a world-class save.
Yeah.
It does make you think, though.
Yeah.
What if he'd scored?
Oh, absolutely.
Does the whole game change?
Yeah, it's those little margins
Right.
that just change the whole narrative.
Totally.
If he scores there,
Right.
pressure swings to Everton.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens next?
Yeah.
But the reality is they didn't.
Nope.
And now you've got this really alarming stat.
Yeah.
3 straight league matches without a goal from open play.
That's got to be a concern.
It has to be, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
They were this unstoppable force last season.
Yeah.
Scoring goals for fun. Now it just seems like they're hitting a wall.
Well, I think there are a few possibilities here.
Okay.
Maybe it's tactical.
Yeah.
Maybe opponents have figured them out.
Right?
You know, last season they were the underdogs. The surprise package.
Teams weren't prepared for them.
Okay.
This high-pressing, quick-passing style.
Right. So this season, the element of surprise is gone.
Teams are sitting back deeper, denying them space.
Interesting.
And when you look at someone like Martinelli,
Yeah.
who's really struggling to find his form this season,
Yeah.
it's interesting to see how he's positioned compared to last season.
Okay.
He's often forced out wide, further from goal.
Right.
Last season, he was thriving in those central areas.
Yeah.
Making those darting runs, getting into dangerous positions.
Yeah.
And this season, he's being crowded out.
Makes a lot of sense.
His impact is minimized.
And let's not forget Everton's role in all this.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they were so disciplined.
Defensively,
Yeah.
frustrating Arsenal at every turn.
Yeah.
They deserve credit for their performance.
Yeah.
I think Michaelenko and Branthwaite were outstanding.
Yeah.
You can see in those heat maps that the Standard provided,
Right.
they just shut down Arsenal's key attacking channels.
So it wasn't just Arsenal failing to score. It was Everton actively preventing them.
Yeah.
Interesting. The Standard also highlighted Saka
Yeah.
as Arsenal's bright spot.
Yeah.
Consistently dangerous. Gave him a 6 out of 10 rating.
Yeah.
Havertz, on the other hand, much quieter game.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Yeah, he's still finding his feet.
Yeah.
The Premier League is a different beast.
Oh, yeah, compared to the Bundesliga.
Much faster, more physical.
Yeah.
Players are stronger. The tackles are harder.
Yeah.
Tactically more demanding.
Right.
Teams are well drilled,
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah.
Takes time to adapt.
And then there's Martinelli.
Yeah.
Another 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
The report calls out his worrying dip in form. Even Ashley Young, who's not exactly known for his defensive prowess these days,
Right.
kept him quiet.
Yeah, it's definitely something to watch.
Has to be a concern for Arteta.
He was such a dynamic threat last season. He had that fearlessness, that spark.
Yeah.
This season, it seems like that's been missing.
Almost feels like the weight of expectation is getting to him, you know?
That's a really interesting point.
Last season, he was this exciting young talent.
Right.
Nobody really knew what to expect.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, everyone's got their eyes on him.
yeah, could that be playing a role?
You see that a lot in sports. Player bursts onto the scene, has this phenomenal season,
Yeah.
and then suddenly
Yeah.
there's this enormous pressure
Yeah.
to replicate that success.
Yeah.
Can be a lot to handle for a young player.
Yeah. And I imagine that pressure is amplified when you're playing for a team
Yeah,
with title aspirations.
absolutely.
Every game becomes magnified.
Right.
Every mistake scrutinized.
Yeah, let's not forget, this draw happened on the same day that
Yeah.
Liverpool
Yeah. Another title contender.
drew against Fulham.
Yeah.
If Arsenal had won,
Yeah.
they would close that gap significantly.
Oh, totally.
Instead, they're still trailing.
Yeah, by a considerable margin.
Yeah.
It's almost like a double blow.
It is.
They failed to win.
Yeah.
And they failed to capitalize on a slip-up
Right.
from one of their rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like the fans are starting to get frustrated.
Yeah.
The report mentioned that the full-time whistle
Yeah.
was met with boos
Oh.
from the Emirates crowd.
Ouch.
I imagine that's tough to hear as a player.
It has to be.
But it's also a reflection of the high expectations.
Absolutely.
Fans believe they have the potential.
Yep, to win the title.
They're not settling for anything less.
You know, it's interesting
Yeah.
to compare this season to last.
Okay.
Last year, they played with a certain freedom,
Yes.
a fearlessness.
Yeah.
They were the underdogs. No one expected them to challenge.
Yeah.
Now the dynamic has shifted.
Completely.
They're the hunted.
Yeah.
The team everyone expects to win.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying too hard to live up to the hype.
Right. It's that classic paradox in sports, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you achieve success, you want to replicate it.
Yeah, stick to the formula.
Right.
But
Yeah.
sometimes that can lead to rigidity,
Yeah.
a lack of adaptability.
Yeah.
The truly great teams
Right.
are the ones that evolve.
Yeah.
Find new ways to win even when opponents figure them out.
So that's what Arsenal need to do.
I think so.
They need to evolve.
Yeah.
They need to adapt. Find a way to break down these stubborn defenses.
Yeah. They need to find a way to rediscover that attacking spark, that fluidity and creativity that made them so dangerous last season.
And they need to do it quickly.
Because the Premier League is a
Yeah.
relentless beast.
Right. There's no time to dwell on setbacks.
Absolutely.
They need to find solutions.
Yes.
Fast.
This draw against Everton
Yeah.
could be a turning point.
Or
It's exposed some vulnerabilities,
right.
some areas of concern
Yeah.
that they need to address if they want to reclaim their place.
At the top of the table.
Yeah. So where do they go from here?
Well,
What changes do you think Arteta needs to make?
I'm dying to know your thoughts on that.
Okay.
But I think we should take a quick breather here.
All right.
And we'll come back to that question
Sounds good.
after we've had a chance to process everything
All right.
that we've learned so far.
Okay.
Okay, so we've established that Arsenal are in a bit of a rut right now,
Yeah.
but they're not the only ones facing challenges.
Right.
You mentioned that Liverpool,
Yeah.
another title contender,
Yep.
also drew their match.
Yeah. Against Fulham.
How significant is that?
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
Had Arsenal won their game,
Yeah,
they would close the gap on Liverpool,
totally.
put real pressure on them.
Yeah.
Instead, they're still trailing.
Right.
And I think that missed opportunity could have a real psychological impact.
Yeah.
Imagine you're an Arsenal player right now.
Yeah.
You see Liverpool drop points.
Right.
You have a chance to close the gap,
Yeah.
and you just can't get it done.
Yeah.
That has to be a deflating feeling.
It's like a missed chance on a macro level.
Yeah, and it highlights just how tight this title race is.
Right. Every point dropped.
Every point is a gift to your rivals.
And exactly. And it's not just about the points themselves.
Oh,
It's the message it sends.
Yeah, what are you saying to your rivals?
Right.
A win against Everton
Mm-hmm.
would have set a message of resilience,
Yeah.
determination.
Yeah.
It would shown
Yeah.
that even when they're not playing their best,
Uh-huh.
they could still grind out results.
So this draw sends a very different message.
Yeah.
A message of vulnerability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Suggests that maybe they're not as invincible
Yeah.
as they seemed earlier in the season.
Yeah. And that can have a ripple effect,
Absolutely.
right? Opponents might start to feel more confident knowing they can be contained,
Yeah.
that they can be frustrated.
And that can create a vicious cycle.
Right. The more teams believe they can get a result against Arsenal,
Yeah.
the more defensive they'll play.
Yeah.
The more difficult it becomes for Arsenal to break them down.
Precisely. And that's the challenge Arteta is facing now.
Right.
How does he break that cycle?
Yeah.
Inject some fresh ideas into the attack,
Right.
get them back to playing
Yeah.
with that same swagger and confidence.
That we saw last season. Do you think it's a tactical issue or is it more of a mental block?
I think it's probably a combination of both.
Okay.
Tactically,
Yeah.
they need to find ways to create more chances,
Yeah.
unlock those deep-lying defenses.
Right.
They might need to experiment with different formations,
Yeah.
different personnel,
Okay.
maybe give some of the younger players a chance,
Oh, interesting.
inject some energy and unpredictability
Right.
into the attack.
Speaking of younger players,
Yeah.
I remember reading in The Standard
Okay.
about this young striker in their academy.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Oneri scoring goals for fun at the youth level.
Right.
Some fans are calling for him
Yeah.
to be given a chance in the first team.
Well, it's always exciting to see young talent coming through.
Sure.
But it's important to remember that the Premier League is a massive step up from youth football.
Okay.
It's a different level of intensity.
Right.
A different level of pressure.
Yeah.
Not always easy for young players to adapt.
Yeah, that's fair. But sometimes a young player with no fear, with nothing to lose, can provide that spark, that X factor.
Sometimes all it takes is that threat of a new player coming in, challenging for a spot, can be enough to motivate the existing players to raise their game.
Right. Create a healthy competition.
Exactly.
So going back to the tactical side of things,
Yeah.
what specific changes do you think Arteta could make?
Well,
I know you mentioned experimenting with different formations.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure. One option could be to switch to a back three, which would allow their wing backs to push higher up the pitch.
Okay.
Provide more width in attack.
Right.
Could help stretch opposing defenses.
Yeah.
Create more space for their attackers to operate in.
I like that idea. It would also give them more defensive solidity.
Yeah.
Which could be helpful.
Yeah.
Because they've been conceding some sloppy goals lately.
Another option could be to try a more direct style of play at times.
Okay.
Instead of always trying to play through the middle
with
these intricate passing moves,
they
could look to get the ball forward quicker, use their pace and power to get in behind defenses.
I mean, that would certainly catch opponents off guard.
It would.
They're probably so used to seeing Arsenal trying to play this patient possession-based style.
Yeah, they wouldn't expect a sudden change in approach.
Yeah, and it could be a way to get the best out of players like Martinelli.
Absolutely.
Who thrives in those situations where he can use his speed and directness to run at defenders.
All good points.
But tactics aside, do you think there's a bigger issue here? A lack of belief, perhaps?
I think you're absolutely right.
Remember last season? They were this fearless, free-flowing team playing with a joy and enthusiasm.
Yeah, it was infectious.
This season, they seem to have lost that spark.
That's perhaps the biggest challenge Arteta faces.
Right.
How does he get his players to rediscover that belief, that confidence that they can go out there and beat anyone?
Yeah.
It's not an easy fix.
Right.
But it might be the most important one.
Maybe they need to embrace the underdog mentality again. Even though they're considered one of the favorites, they can still channel that same hunger, that same desire to prove themselves that they had last season.
Sometimes it's easier to play with freedom.
Yeah.
When you have nothing to lose.
Right.
When you're the underdog.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. No expectation.
Yeah.
You can just go out there and play your game.
So how does Arteta create that environment?
Right.
How does he instill that underdog spirit in a team that's now expected to win?
It's a tricky balance.
Yeah.
But it's definitely possible.
Okay.
It starts with communication. Reminding his players why they play the game.
Right.
Reconnecting them to that joy and passion that brought them success in the first place.
Yeah. And maybe it's about shifting the focus away from the outcome.
Right.
The pressure of winning the title back to the process. The enjoyment of playing the game.
Exactly. Playing for each other for the love of the game rather than playing for the trophy.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
And it's a message that could be the key to unlocking Arsenal's true potential.
It certainly could, and it'll be fascinating to see how they respond to this challenge in the coming weeks.
This draw against Everton could be a wake-up call.
It could.
A moment of reflection that forces them to reassess their approach, rediscover their hunger.
It's almost like a fork in the road.
Yeah.
They can either let this setback define them,
yeah,
or they can use it as fuel to come back stronger.
Right. And the choices they make now, both on and off the pitch, will determine which path they take.
It feels like we're on the verge of something big here.
Yeah.
A turning point in Arsenal's season.
Do they rise to the challenge?
Yeah.
Or do they crumble under the pressure?
It's a question that only time will answer.
Right.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
This Premier League season just got a whole lot more interesting.
It's crazy how one match, one result can just totally change the narrative.
Totally.
We started this whole deep dive talking about Arsenal as potential title winners.
Right. Yeah. After this draw with Everton.
Yeah.
There's just this...
There's this sense of doubt creeping in.
Yeah.
So do you think this draw is a sign of something bigger?
Ooh.
Or is it just a blip?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think there's an easy answer.
Okay.
On one hand, you got to acknowledge the quality in this Arsenal squad.
Yeah.
They've got some seriously talented players.
Right.
A manager with a clear vision.
Uh-huh.
And we've seen them compete at the highest level.
Yeah, they've shown us what they can do.
Yeah. But then again, this draw has exposed some cracks.
Yeah, some vulnerabilities.
That they need to address.
If they want to reach that ultimate goal.
Yeah, and it feels like those vulnerabilities,
yeah,
they're both tactical and mental.
Right. Tactically, they need to find a way to unlock these defenses that are just sitting deep against them.
Just sitting deep, yeah.
And mentally, I think they need to rediscover that swagger.
Yeah, that belief.
Last season.
Like they've lost that element of surprise.
Yeah.
That unpredictability that just made them so dangerous.
Totally. And now teams have figured out
how to neutralize their strengths.
Yeah.
And they haven't really found an answer to that.
So what's the solution? How do they break free from this rut?
I think.
What can Arteta do?
Well, we talked about some tactical tweaks.
Yeah, like switching to a back three.
Yeah, or incorporating a more direct style at times.
Sure. Yeah.
But honestly, I think the biggest changes have to happen mentally.
Right.
He needs to reignite that spark.
Yeah, that hunger.
That drove them to success last season.
But how do you do that?
It's tough.
How do you instill that underdog mentality in a team that's now the favorite?
It's a challenge, but it all starts with leadership.
Okay.
Clear communication. He needs to remind these players why they play.
Okay.
Reconnect them to that joy.
Yeah, that passion.
That brought them together.
Right.
It's about that culture of resilience.
Yeah.
Never giving up.
No matter what.
No matter the score.
And maybe it's about shifting the focus.
Yeah, away from the pressure.
Right.
Of winning the title.
And back to.
And just back to
the joy
of playing.
Playing the game.
Expressing themselves on the pitch.
Right. Rediscovering that freedom.
Yeah.
That fearlessness.
That allowed them to play their best.
You know, it's funny, as we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I keep thinking back to that moment.
Yeah.
Odegaard's miss in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
Really highlights how fine the margins are.
It does in football.
If he buries that.
Right.
Who knows?
The whole narrative changes.
Right. The whole season, maybe.
It's crazy to think about.
Right. Those moments.
Yep.
They can define a season, a career.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that sometimes luck plays a part.
It does.
But you can't dwell on it.
No. You got to move on.
Got to focus on the next challenge.
And for Arsenal, that next challenge is massive.
Yeah.
They need to bounce back.
Yeah.
Prove to themselves, to their fans,
to their rivals,
that they're still a force to be reckoned with.
It's a defining moment for them.
Yeah. Do they crumble?
Yeah.
Or do they rise to the occasion?
Do they let this derail their ambitions?
Or do they use it
as fuel
to come back stronger?
It's going to be fascinating to see how they respond.
It is.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening.
We've seen the cracks, the vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
But we've also seen that quality.
That potential.
That potential.
And that's what makes them so intriguing.
Yeah, they're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
A team with so much potential. But they got to overcome some hurdles.
Right. It's a story that's still being written.
Absolutely.
Keeps us on the edge of our seats.
Keeps us guessing.
Wondering what's next.
You know, as we wrap this up.
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
What if this draw, this setback,
this adversity
is actually the catalyst for something incredible?
Okay.
What if this is what forces them to dig deeper, to work harder,
come together,
Yeah.
Rediscover that magic.
Yeah, rediscover that magic.
It's a great thought. One we'll be thinking about as we watch their journey unfold.
Absolutely.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall.